So give me one. Perfect. Yes, I'm going to start. We're echoAR. We're a cloud platform for augmented and virtual reality apps. And today we're going to talk about how to build AR VR applications really quickly and easily without even knowing a lot about coding. So I'm going to start by saying hello. My name is Alon. I did my master's in computer science at Columbia University and my undergrad in computer science electrical engineering. So obviously a certified nerd and a big believer in augmented virtual reality. So before we dive in, I want to level set a little bit. I'm going to throw out a lot of these terms that you might have heard about, but virtual reality or VR is where everything around you is digital. You're fully immersed in a digital environment, and everything you see is a computer-generated image, basically a CGI construct that is being projected into your eyes using some headset. For example, a Oculus Quest. This is like a fully immersive headset that controls everything you see and sometimes what you hear, as opposed to augmented reality or AR, in which we can still see the real world, but that world is being overlaid with computer-generated imagery. Basically, we overlay the world with digital constructs, and you're able to look at the world through some optical see-through, like glasses or a headset, or some camera see-through, like a tablet or a phone. A really amazing example to understand this is the movie Space Jam, in which we have Michael Jordan being teleported into Looney Town. That's a very good example of virtual reality, right? Everything around Jordan is a cartoon. Everything is animated, is interacting with Bugs and the other Looney Tunes in a digital environment, as opposed to what we have later in the movie, in which we have Bugs and the other Looney Tunes coming to us. So as opposed to us going to Looney Town, they're coming to us, and we're able to play basketball with them in the real world. They're able to interact with Bill Murray, etc. Actual real-world example of that is applications that you probably have heard of. For example, Pokemon Go, where people walk around the real world, interact with digital monsters that are not actually there. As opposed to virtual reality, which is, for example, this example is Beat Saber, a cool game in which you can slash cube based on the theme of the music, and everything around you is digital. You're fully immersed in a digital environment. Another example of augmented reality is something I did back in my days at Columbia. We took CT and MRI, converted them into 3D, and basically allowed the physician to see the patient's heart floating above them during surgery. It was a really, really exciting use case. I was able to scrub into surgery as an engineer, take those 2D models, convert them to this 3D map for the physicians to understand the patient's anatomy in real time and how to drive the catheter while doing the surgery. An amazing, amazing use case for augmented reality. But to achieve that, I had to do something I really hate, and that's waking up early in the morning. And because I had to go take those 2D scans, convert them to 3D models, and build the application again to put these on these smart glasses for the physician to wear. And that process, again, was so frustrating. It took so much time. And as a developer, I only wanted to do two things: manage 3D assets and deliver them to that AR device. And when I've talked to other developers in the AR VR space who created applications for retail and shopping and data visualization and games and training, they all said the same thing. There's no easy way to manage and deliver 3D data. But if you think about it, that problem was already solved for 2D data, right? You don't have to be a web developer to create a website. You can use Heroku for that. Or if you're building a mobile application, you can use Parse or Firebase as your cloud platform. So the question has to be asked, who's going to build the same platform for AR, VR, MR, 3D, immersive, call it whatever? And you've guessed that that's what we do. So we're echoAR. It's a cloud platform for augmented virtual reality apps that provides tools and network infrastructure for developers and companies who want to build AR, VR applications at scale. I'm going to share a few demos and explain how that works and how you can build applications right now in 15 minutes or less. If there's any questions, by the way, feel free to write them in the chat, and I'll be able to answer all of them. So before we dive into the demos, let's see how that works. So the same way you don't expect to be, you don't need to be a web developer to update a blog post. You can drag and drop an image. Suddenly that appears on web and mobile. And if I'm in New York and you're in California, we automatically get the best streaming experience on Netflix, for example, if you're watching a really good episode of Narcos. We translated these concepts into augmented reality, basically providing you with a way to manage and deliver 3D data and get the best 3D streaming experience. And in this case, what's interesting is that the connection between content and target is bidirectional. you as a user, you can't move an image or a video on a website, but you can definitely move a couch across the room. And that needs to be updated on the cloud. So this is basically what we've built, this kind of content management system and delivery network specifically for 3D data. And you can go to our website to register for free to start using our service and do exactly the demos that I'm going to show you right now. Or we provided the link to the hackathon organizers in which you're able to get premium access to our console for free. So definitely check out that resources. There you go. We have that link being shared right here in the chat. So make sure to register with that link to get free access to our premium tier. So if there's any questions, feel free to write them in the chat. If not, I'll transition into our demo. So if you are able to see my screen, you should see on the left, we have our console. This is what you get access to after you register with the link. You get this API key. This is mine. And you're able to access this console. And on the right, you just see my phone. So I'm going to start with something super simple. I'm going to upload some content. So here we can upload content. You just do add to cloud. And then you have either 3D models that we provide you through some samples that you can browse. You can upload files. It could be 3D models. It can be images. It could be videos. We're going to see all of that now. And you can also search for 3D models from all these content aggregators online, and we'll bring them into the console. So if you want to search for, I don't know, a globe, you can write that down here, and then you'll get that 3D model of a globe. But I'm going to start simple. I'm going to take this 3D model of the Empire State, the same 3D model that works with 3D printing, for example. I'm going to upload it to our cloud. What happens right now is that we take that 3D model, convert it so it works on Android, iOS, Magically, Pollens, you name it. Once that's done, you're able to see it right here. And now let's see it. So I'm going to open a sample app right here. Obviously, developers have their own app, but you can download this sample app right here through our downloads menu. I'm going to plug in my API key. It will stream the data from the cloud to the device. Camera will instantiate. The camera will recognize the floor. And voila, the Empire State is here in my apartment right now. I can walk around it, walk inside. Super, super simple. The Empire State is here with me. So this is the mobile example. Basically, we're able to stream the Empire State into the app. But we also support the web, so you don't have to install anything. For example, we worked with a web agency, with an art agency that wanted to have a web experience because people walk into an art gallery and then randomly, have to install an app. Obviously, no. Instead, they can just go through a web experience without installing anything. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click this button right here. I'm going to open this QR code that I can scan. You all can scan that as well if you want. So all you have to do is place your phones in front of that. It will automatically scan. Most phones right now already have a built-in QR code scanner. Just scan this QR code. It'll redirect you to a website. You don't have to install anything. I'm going to leave it here a little bit. Once that's done, you'll be able to click a button, echoAR, and see that building in augmented reality on your phone right now. How easy is that? Less than 5 minutes, we already have an AR app working and running on your devices. So just do echoAR. There we go. Move the camera around a little bit so it will detect the floor, and voila. Maybe I'll put it on the table this time. And there you go. We have the Empire State here, right here on my device. Just now, it's through the website. Super, super easy. You don't have to install anything. So far, we saw mobile, we saw web. Let's say we want to switch it up, right? We uploaded content, we saw it on the AR app, but we want to see something else now. So instead of rebuilding the application or doing anything technical, I just go back here, delete the previous entry, upload something else, and it will automatically update across platforms. So let's upload some other building, for example. Let's say this building. Same process, taking the content, putting it on our cloud. Super, super easy. Now we have this apartment building. If you want, again, I'm going to leave this QR code so you can scan it to see that building. I'm going to open the exact same app we opened earlier, plug in the same API key. And now instead of having the Empire State, we're going to have this apartment building. So let's see how that works. There we go. Super easy. All we have to do is just swap out things on the console, automatically changes in the app. Let's see that again here through the website. So just scan this as well. So that's the thing. So every 3D model that you create has its own generated link and its own generated QR code that you can scan and see. So now I'm going to scan this. If you delete the entry, the QR code will disappear as well. And you can also share those 3D models right here. So if I click this button, you'll see this link that you can share on Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can also share it right here in the chat, but just make sure to open it on your phone. So let's throw that in here. There you go. CNAR. And there you go. Building is instantiated. Super, super simple. All you have to do is just click a few buttons, and there you go. You see the 3D model being projected in your room in a matter of instance. Okay, so we uploaded this 3D model. We saw it in web. We saw it in mobile. Another thing I want to show you is a game engine called Unity. This is a game engine a lot of developers love to use to build AR/VR applications. And later in the coding part of this workshop, I'm going to show you how to use Unity. But now I'm going to show you how how we'll be able to stream the same thing that we stream for mobile and web, how we're going to stream that into Unity as well. So there you go. We see the building right here. But let's take it a step further. Let's say I want to animate it. Let's say I want to change things in real time. So I click this small button right here. I can add data to it. So I can add things like, let's say, direction equals right. And then, oops, my phone crashed. Sorry about that. Classic Murphy's Law. There you go. And well, suddenly we'll see the building animating. There you go. Now it's rotating. Let's say I want it to be 2 times bigger because it's a little small. So let's add scale equals 2. There you go. Suddenly it's 2 times bigger. These are obviously really small examples, but this is the thing that you can do. You can change things in real time. You can animate things in real time. Let's stop it from being 2 times bigger. Let's rotate. Let's stop the rotation maybe. Let's make it rotate again. Next time to the left. So these are, again, small examples, but to show you that you can stream any data that you want and have any feature that you want being associated once you actually build your own app. Okay, so we saw mobile, we saw web, we saw Unity. Everything we saw so far was basically the camera recognizing a surface, recognizing the floor, recognizing the table or a chair. This is called surface detection. Another thing that I want to show you is image recognition, where the camera recognizes an image as opposed to a surface. So let's see how that works. Anurup says, totally makes me rethink the scope and possibilities. Definitely, definitely. There's something really that I think we're limited only by our imagination when it comes to 3D interfaces. When we think about 2D, it's so easy, right? There's a window, there's an image, there's a video, but in 3D, options are unlimited. How do you select something in 3D? How do you interact with something? All these things are defined by you as the creator of an app. So let's upload some other, let's upload a video for now. How about that? So I'm just going to throw in some MP4 file, just a cartoon that I have right here. And now instead of doing anywhere for that to pick up on a surface, I'm going to do image detection. So I'm going to do on an image. Let's use this image, for example. Same process occurs. We're uploading into our cloud, but now we're converting the image and video for that to work with the camera. Once that is done, we're going to see another content card in front of us. But now instead of a 3D model, we're going to see that video. Perfect. So let's scan this, for example. Again, we have a QR code that we can scan, and I encourage you to do that with your phones as well if you want. All you have to do is scan that QR code. It will redirect you to a website. Again, no installation necessary. The camera now will recognize that QR code as a connection. But now if I go and do this, there you go. Suddenly that image is being overlaid with the video, and I'm able to play, for example, a video on top of an image. This image could be anything you want. I uploaded some random cartoon. It could be your business card. It could be a magazine. We sponsored a hackathon in which someone did overlaid QR codes with videos, explanatory videos on COVID-19. But under the back, like in the back end, he would actually count how many people scan those QR codes to enforce social distancing. So another cool example of how you can use it. We have all these different things built in. So if you want, you can actually use these same, let me close these out. But if you scan this, we'll be able to see the apartment building on top of the QR codes, for example. So let's see how that works. And again, you can do that with your phone as well, as long as just putting your phone in front of the QR code and you should see that. There you go, scanning that. And now it's going to overlay the QR code, for example. So instead of being on the floor, there you go. It pops out of my screen, being overlaid on this QR code on the screen. Super, super simple. You can also upload images, not just 3D models or GIFs if you want, and they'll be, again, overlaying some content as well and playing. Super easy. If there's any questions so far, please feel free to write them in the chat. I'm going to guide you through the console a little bit, and then we're going to transition into a coding portion of the workshop. So what else can you do here? In the downloads menu, you can actually download our SDKs to integrate to your apps. If it's for Unity or Java or Flutter or Node.js, we have a few example codes that you can start off with for Unity and for Flutter, for React. Our GitHub channel actually, I'm sorry, our GitHub page is actually filled with a lot of examples of apps that you can build. I'll show you a few, and later we're actually going to create one together. But you can build like cool things like that you're able to watch actual TV in a living room inside your living room, or like a COVID visualizer in 3D, or what else here that we have cool? Face tracking is kind of face change. This is a demo I built recently. You can put things on your face. Basically, have face filters, really cool. You can swap your face, another cool thing that you can do. So play around with these examples. They're all here, and they're all open source for you to start building really, really cool things and shorten the time that you need to actually work on, because it's a hackathon. Becca is asking, can the user walk through this space? Yeah, definitely. If I, for example, this, let's say I want to see this 3D model again, I'm going to show it right here. We're going to see that. So there you go. And then if I walk through it, I can just like literally reach out to it, and I can like literally walk it anchored to this point in my space. Angela is asking, is coding necessary to learn? So you don't have to code. It really depends. Everything I showed you so far is no code. Like I just uploaded stuff, scanned some QR codes. These are things you can do with no coding at all. If you do want to have some custom features or build your own app, you do have to know some coding. It could be JavaScript, it could be C#, or the coding portion that I'm going to talk about later will be in C#. But again, everything that we saw so far was no code, right? Just uploading stuff, seeing them. We already have that sample app right here that you can use, so you don't have to do a lot of the coding. Anurup is asking, could we potentially set up a model of a wall with windows and overlay video playback on a busy street? Yeah, definitely. This sounds like a fantastic idea. Looking forward to see something like that you built. Again, you can have this video, just upload something of like the outside. Here's a video of, you can upload a wall. You can just maybe if we look for brick here, we'll find something with a brick wall, and you're good to go. And then just create them together. Let's see how that works. There you go. So yeah, we have a brick wall right here. Just import that into the console. That's it. And we also have an example code, if I remember correctly, of a portal. Let's see that. That basically, yeah, there you go. So maybe start with this one. This is a demo that allows you to put like a door and then a video, and then like you can walk through a door and basically see a different world. And that world could be whatever you want. So check out this example right here. Kai is asking, are there any interactive components built in beside animation? So the ones that we have are the ones that I showed, basically moving it, rotating it, scaling it up and down, like custom transformations. If you want to have some other interactions, you'll have to build that in, and later we're going to see how. By the way, everything I'm showing you right now exists in our documentation. So if you press this help menu right here and then go to read documentation, there's literally step-by-step guides with GIFs and everything about how to load, how to add content. Back to Angela's point, all the non-code stuff appear here, how you can interact with models, how you can upload them, how you can play around with it. Everything exists in our documentation. So definitely check that out. And there's a workshop similar to what I'm doing right now, a video that you can always access. You can, as I showed you, you can also share 3D models really easily. Every time you take those, these share links, they will be showing you like those QR codes on social media. So definitely play around with them as well. So documentation, our GitHub channel that I already showed you, our Slack channel, join it to ask our support team for any questions. If something's not working or need help with anything, just ping our support team. They'll be happy to help. You can reach out through email or just tweet. Super easy. What else can we do? So we can obviously change theme, dark being the default. We can add some more data. So we saw earlier that we're able to add data on 3D models. We're also able to add data on a project level. So you don't have to have just data per model. For example, we worked with a company who did this scavenger hunt, kind of murder mystery game. They had different 3D models associated with different scenes, but they also have data across all the scenes and all the project. Oh, maybe I'll upload another 3D model. I didn't show you how you can upload things for locations. You can actually tag data with locations right here. So for example, I'm going to put this fox in New York. So you can build one generic app. If you open it in New York, it's going to show you the Empire State. If you're opening it in San Francisco, it's going to show you the Golden Gate Bridge. If you're opening it in London, it's going to show you the Big Ben. All you have to do is like tag it with a location, and then you're able to query that location as well. Payments is a cool page. So you're able to see some metrics of how you're using, how many API calls you're making, how much storage you're using, how much bandwidth you're using. If you use the link that we provided, you're going to get this tier for free. So definitely check that out. When it comes to locations, it's a really cool page that shows you the distribution of your content. For example, we just added this Fox in New York, so it's tagged here. You're able to see the servers that we're using and the distribution of your content. Security is a cool page that shows you that you can add people to your project and collaborators for the same project. Insights are a really interesting page that shows you, for example, we just streamed apartment building, so we see a spike in usage, how many API calls you're making, some data on the project on a general level. So definitely check that out. Users, you'll be able to see where users coming from. So if you have a lot of users in the US, that's perfect. In France, that's perfect, and all that. Tutorials is a cool page with a lot of frequently asked questions they're able to see, and they will redirect you to the right place in the documentation and how you can interact with it. Inspiration is actually my favorite page. This is a page with a lot of examples powered by echoAR or not that shows you how you can build things for retail and shopping. And this is the art agency project that I mentioned, and the mystery game, and another project we did with Verizon. And there's games here, and healthcare, and surgery, and retail that I already mentioned, and games, and so many more. And like, for example, these are a few projects we sponsored through hackathons around COVID-19 that people build. This was the COVID-19 tracker that I mentioned. There's so many amazing examples that you can get inspired by. So definitely check them out right here in the inspiration page. If there's any questions so far, please let me know in the chat. And if not, I'll just move on to the coding portion of the workshop. So we saw so far how we can use a lot of no-code components through web, through mobile, or through some example codes that we have. Now I'm going to show you how to use Unity, which is a game engine, to basically integrate your app with. So I am going to download our Unity SDK right here. So you just double-click that, you download a file, double-click that file, and that will integrate into Unity. This is a game engine a lot of developers love to use AR/VR applications for. Right now, you're seeing an empty scene. There's nothing here except for the echoAR SDK. I'm going to plug in my API key right here. So I'm just going to click echoAR and just plug in my API key. And now when I press play, like magic, for this empty scene, everything will appear out of thin air. So we'll see the building that we have, the video, the fox is right here. So maybe I'll change things in the console a little bit. But let's move that a little bit here. So we see the building is rotating. The fox is right here. Let me delete the video. When I just delete the video, it will disappear automatically. Let's move the fox, let's say 10 feet away from the building. There we go. And what you see right here is that basically I'm able to change things in real time, again, remotely. But also if I stop the application from running, everything disappears. So the content does not actually persist in memory. It doesn't actually persist on the device. It's just grabbing it from the internet, and then disappears whatever you unpause. I unplay, sorry. Now I'm going to play again. Everything will go back. It will stream the data. Will render in front of you, again, like magic. But the cool thing about it is, like, see that the fox is now 10 feet away from the building. The building is still rotating. So basically what we love to call a stateful CMS. It keeps the state of the scene, and we're able to change that remotely. But these, like that, basically that scene persists on the cloud. So let's maybe delete the apartment building, leave the fox, and let's do some custom behavior changes. So let's delete that, delete this. There you go. So we have the fox right here called Arctic Fox. Now let's say I want to change something, add some interaction to it. How does that work? So what's the good thing about echoAR is, like, every 3D model has a custom behavior script attached to it. We're going to play around with that script right now. This is a script that you can change and add anything you want. And now we're going to see how and what you do. This script is in C#. It's a coding language. If you know Java or other object-oriented coding language, you're good. But if not, it's fine. It's pretty straightforward. What we have here is two functions. This is like the standard Unity format. Two functions called, one is called start, evident by its name, instantiates when the application starts. And another function called update, really, really interesting function. This happens every single frame. Remember, you're coding in 3D now. That means that your scene is being rendered and you have like this constant stream of video that happens all the time. This function is being called every single frame. So if that function hangs or lags or the performance isn't really good, that will reflect in your application as well. But let's start with the start function. So we have this code snippet right here. I'm going to add some script to it. We're going to query the data. So this is how we say, do I have any additional data? If I do have additional data, do I have a key called name? Do I have an additional data that is called name? If I do, let's call this game object with that name. Let's see how that works. So we have this game object right here called Arctic Fox. Let's change its name to let's do name equals, I don't know, what's a good name for a fox? Kevin. Now I'm going to press play. And voila, we're going to see that the name suddenly is Kevin. Super, super easy. If I change the name to, let's say, Sam, it doesn't change. Why is that? Because the snippet of code that we had was in the start function. So only when I restart the application, then we'll see the name being changed. So let's see that. I'm going to press play. Suddenly it's called Sam. But what if we want to have that working all the time? So I go back to the code. I take this code snippet right from here and put it in the update function, which means this code snippet will be executed every single frame. So every single frame, we're going to ask, do I have additional data? If I do I have additional data called name? And if that's the case, I'm going to change that name. So let's see how that works. Kai is asking, do you support rigged FBX files? We do. So if you upload an FBX file, we'll just convert it and just make sure that it works in all these different platforms. You're probably going to get a GLB and a USDZ version as well. The only problem is that Unity doesn't support pre-animated 3D models. So you can bring in an FBX file, but you're going to lose the animations, and you'll have to use Unity's animation engine to basically recreate those animations. That's one of the downsides of using a game engine. Most of the time, they want control of the animation because that's their thing as a game engine. Okay, so we see the fox right here. Now it's called Sam. If I twist it back to Kevin, voila, suddenly it's called Kevin. So all we had to do is just like make it in the update function, right? So the snippet of code happens every single time. Perfect. If there's any questions, again, feel free to write them in chat. If not, I'm going to move to a more complicated demo or like coding demo a little bit. Okay, so now that we did this simple demo, now we're going to build a quick COVID visualizer together. So what I'm going to do right here is now I'm going to upload some 3D model from my local storage instead of the console. So let's choose, for example, I have this model in hand, a model of our big blue Earth. Let's upload it to the console. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to swap the custom behavior script under the hood. So let's swap that out. There we go. Perfect. So now let's look at the script and let's see what we have here. So we have this 3D model right here. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll re-upload it, but now I'm going to add additional data with it. I'm showing you how to add. So you can actually, when you upload a 3D model, be able to add a CSV file, basically like a text file with all these different, keys and values, and that will be automatically added with the model. So I'm going to do that. So let's upload that. And then when I flip the card to see the metadata, it's all you're going to have all the metadata associated with it. Let's see how that works. So again, same process, now uploading, and just like our engine just parses the data. There you go. We have Earth. We have all these metadata right here already pre-established. Now let's look at the script. So what do we have here? So now it's a little different. We have more data structures. We have some map that we're going to use to query data and store data. The start function looks pretty much the same. The update function is now much more interesting. So let's see what it does. So the update function asks, do I have any additional data? If I do I have a key called scale? If I do, let's parse that scale. Let's save it as a number. And then we're going to iterate over all continents and see, do I have information about the continent? If I do, let's parse that as the number of cases of COVID in that continent. If I already have it, let's scale that graph to be that size. If I don't, let's create that graph. So let's add a cylinder, color it a little bit, add some names, some location. Maybe let's add some text to it, for example. Let's change the scale. If we don't have information, let's destroy that graph. Pretty straightforward. Now, when I press play, let's see how that works. And again, this sample of code is open source, and you can use it from our GitHub page. So there we go. Super simple. What we see here is the Earth spinning, data showing you for each continent how many COVID cases there were, and you can change that in real time. So let's change that together. So if I go to Antarctica and I say instead of 1, I'm going to do 8, bam, suddenly it jumped. If I delete it, it disappears. Super quick examples, but again, to show you how you can change data in real time, how you can build something really easy, but really impressive. You can actually integrate this, take this example, expand on it, hook this up to a third-party API from the WHO, and have these numbers actually reflect the number of COVID cases in real time instead of data that you plug in with our API, for example. Awesome. Any questions so far? If there are, please feel free to write them in the chat. Okay. So recapping. So what did you see so far? We saw how you can use the console to upload content. We saw how you can do that for mobile, for web, for Unity. We saw how you can use surface detection, how you can use image recognition. You saw how you can use videos and images as well. The user developer can choose any client-side platform. And as a content creator, you need no technical skills. You can just drag and drop 3D models and they all work. We build, store, and deliver that content to all the devices, if it's Android, iOS, web, HoloLens, Unity, you name it. Developers obviously save time and money in building their application. Content creators need no technical skills, and companies can scale to enterprise level. When it comes to use cases, we saw the inspiration page. We talked about things that you can do in healthcare, in games, and data visualization. We talked about surgery, and interior design, and games, and shopping, and ads. So many amazing use cases that you can build, and we're looking forward to see what you're going to build through the hackathon. A little bit about us at the company. We are backed by some of the top investors in the country. If it's Remountain Ventures, Verizon, our lab, Techstars. We won a bunch of awards, and we're there for every major tech event. So if you're after COVID, and if after COVID dissipates and things go back to normal, hopefully we'll be able to see you in all these events. So definitely come say hello to our team. We love to say that we empower everyone to run on the tracks of AR. So definitely build amazing applications with our tech, share them with us, because we really are looking forward to see what you're going to build. And obviously, especially for a hackathon, look how amazing and how wow factor you're getting from building a really simple AR/VR application. Make sure you register. Use the link that we shared here. I'm going to share that again to basically register for our platform for free and get the premium tier for free. There you go. Yeah, thank you so much for being in this workshop. Feel free to reach out. Use our Slack channel to reach out our support team. And thank you so much for being here. If there's any questions, feel free to add them in chat. If not, hope you had an amazing 4th of July weekend and have a fantastic, fantastic week. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good one.